We forget that things were not always the same way they are now. Wherever we are now, whatever we have, sometimes seems like that's all there is. But everything began somewhere. Our world has become a cacophony of noise and confusion. It is easy to forget from where we came. My name is Manuel C. Cruz, professor of theater arts. I have personally seen higher education devalue the arts, moving to professional business and technical education. Now, there's nothing wrong with these pathways, but we forget the value of the arts in our lives. Theater is important to our social and emotional learning. Theater can help people develop empathy, respect for others, and the ability to communicate effectively. It can also help people learn to behave in social situations. Theater helps build community. Theater brings people together in a shared space to experience something moving, funny, or thought-provoking. Theater is important to our sense of history. Theater can help people connect with history by making it come alive on stage. Theater can help with our creativity. It helps people tap into their own personal creativity, no matter what your profession is, and helps us understand the world. Theater can help people explore the world from different perspectives and understand people from other cultures. It can also help our academic achievement. Studies have suggested that students who are exposed to theater, music, and dance are more proficient in reading, writing, and math. Did you know that as an audience member, you have a role to play in theater arts? That's right. The audience, the witness, has a role to play. So as a participant in theater arts, it's important for you, the audience member, the witness, to know that theater arts and art in general is a mirror or a reflection of life. It is an extension or projection of how we live, how we think, and how we feel. It reveals to us what we treasure and admire and what we fear most deeply. It also may be an absolute necessity for human survival, both in creativity and catharsis. Now, for our discussion, there are three basic divisions of art. First of all, there is literary art. That's novels, short stories, poetry, anything that you read, anything that goes from creator to witness. The second one would be visual arts. That's paintings, sculptures, architecture, photography. Again, anything that goes straight from the creator to the witness, the audience. Now, these first two have something in common, that they are both art that is spatial. It takes up space, and it is timeless, meaning that it survives for a very long time. Time does not have an influence in this kind of art. Now, our last division of art is both spatial and temporal. It takes up space and it takes up time and space. That's the performing arts, theater, dance, opera, music. Any performance art that you can think of is spatial and temporal. Now, no matter which division of art that you are witnessing, it is important to know that art has always been subjective. It means that it is based on our morals, our morality, our mores, our feelings, and our prejudices that we use to judge the world around us, the things that make us interpret what we see in order to understand the world. Now, the theater arts is a collaborative art. It means that it takes many people for it to work. The elements of the theater are the audience, the witnesses, the performers, who are the interpreters of the creation, the script or text. This is the structure, the characters, and the points of view in the piece of art that you are witnessing. The director, another interpreter, is the one who has the big picture that directs the actors and technicians into creating the art itself. Theater space, you need somewhere to perform it. Design elements, scenery, costuming, lighting, and sound. For theater events to take place, The various elements of theater must be brought together and coordinated by a host of people. The director, as we said before, is the big picture person, the one who puts it all together. The playwright, this is the creator. They're the ones who create the text that is interpreted by the director and by the actors. The technicians, we're talking about the lights, the sound, the running crew, anyone who is behind the scenes to make the art come together into a cohesive unit. Producers, these are the people who pay for the rights of the text, the ones who find the funding to pay everybody. And the managers are the people who are in the office, The administrative people are very important to the theater as well. I mean, someone's got to do payroll, someone's got to pay for the space, someone has to pay for the lights, the plumbing, the facilities, everything that's going to be needed by anyone who creates the art itself. Don't kid yourself. Theater arts is also a business. Finally, there is the audience itself. The audience participates vicariously through the mind and the heart through willing suspension of disbelief. That means that they are believing what they're seeing, but still recognizing that it is art because they have an aesthetic distance from the art itself. The makeup of audiences has varied from time to time and place to place. Audiences of today are a little more diverse in size and makeup to include the racial, religious, and ethnic diversity of our society. In the past, it was pretty homogeneous, especially before the regional theater movement. New York audiences were usually made up of the same people. The chemistry of the audiences changes from night to night as well. On a Thursday night, you may see a very sober audience because they have to go back to work on Friday. But Friday and Saturday, it's the weekend. The audiences probably had a little dinner, maybe a couple of cocktails, and so they could be a little more rowdy. Come Sunday, again, they become a little more sober, and Sunday tends to attract an older audience. Now let's talk about where and how we see theater. Now in the past, you would have to physically go out of your house and go to either a playhouse or a cinema to watch a film or a play. The audience would have to read reviews in the newspaper or see a billboard in order to know what is playing. And in order to get a ticket, you would have to physically go down to the box office and buy a paper ticket for whatever show you wanted to see. Now in the 21st century, we have a whole host of ways to see theater. You can go to the cinema and see a movie. You can go to a playhouse and see a play. But you can also watch streaming services on your television, your laptop, your smartphone. And the way you pay your admission is just to pay for the streaming service to do that. Now, if you want to go out to a physical cinema or a playhouse, you no longer have to go to the box office to purchase a ticket. You can always go online, either to a centralized broker of tickets. But in the 21st century, more and more theater and more cinema are selling directly to the audience through a website. Now, as an active participant in theater, the audience also has responsibilities. And your responsibility as an audience member, the witness, is not to disrupt the performance if you're at a live performance or disrupt the film if you're watching a film. That means don't be on your phone, don't text. I mean, even turning the phone on, the light is very distracting. Also, don't rustle in your bags looking for stuff or unwrapped candies and things like that make a whole lot of noise. Now, in a cinema, you probably won't be able to hear these things because the sound in a cinema is quite loud. But if you're at a live performance, a quiet moment can be disturbed by somebody, rooting through their bag or unwrapping a candy. Now, these are traditional responsibilities of the audience member. But these responsibilities don't apply to every theater event. I mean, if you're at a concert, it's fine to scream, shout, sing along, that sort of thing. But if you're at a live musical, don't be singing along. Also, if you're in a movie theater, try not to sing along. I know it's hard But again, because the sound is so loud, they probably won't hear you. Like I said, traditional responsibilities of the theater. You be the judge, all right? Now, earlier I mentioned reviews in a newspaper. Again, in the 21st century, there are a whole host of ways to read a review. And the reviewer is also an audience member, a very special audience member. But again, a caveat. Beware of who you read and make your own judgment by going to see the show anyway. There are three types of critique that we see these days. There's the critic, the reviewer, and the blogger. These are very different people. A critic is a person who has an academic interest in reviewing a play or a cinema. They have some education in the arts and speak from a point of view of knowledge. A reviewer is someone who has seen enough cinema and enough plays in their lifetime to have a relatively accurate idea of what is good and what is not so good in cinema and theater. Mostly these people are journalists, though. Their speciality is journalism with an emphasis in theater or cinema. Now, the blogger is the one you should really be aware of. These are people with no education in the arts and no education in journalism. These are just people who are giving you their opinion of what they saw. Now, everybody's different. Everybody has different tastes. So I'm saying, when you read a blogger, someone online, beware. Make your own judgment. All right? Go see the show. See if you like it or not. Now, the best way to critique any show is to use the 3 Goethe rules. Now, Johann Wolfgang von Goethe was a German polymath who was widely regarded as the greatest and most influential writer in the German language. His sphere of influence was in literature, politics, philosophy, that sort of thing. But he came up with 3 very interesting rules on what makes good theater. The first one is, what is the play and the production attempting to do? What are they trying to tell you? The second rule is, how well have these intentions been realized? And third, is this play worth doing at all? Is this message worth hearing? Is it worth repeating? Right? These are the 3 Goethe rules. Right? Now, not everybody's going to go in there. I mean, I myself, when I go to enjoy a film or a play, I don't go to critique the show. But if you're going to, perhaps you'd want to review these 3 rules. Now, as an audience member, if you combine the awareness of criticism with the theater event that you're attending, the experience can be greatly enhanced. I mean, you have a better point of view to judge. Or if you're just there to enjoy the show, enjoy the show. It's not your job to critique, right? So attending theater is very unique and an individual experience. It is your experience, yours alone, and you must trust and be guided by your own judgment. I'm Manuel C. Cruz. Thank you for tuning in. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell for future episodes. If you'd like to support the channel, please visit our Patreon page by clicking the link below.